All right, y'all. We are back. It's the Hot Action Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kerr, and we're just going to jump into it. We are going to be reviewing what happened last week with our bets. Um, your boy had a even week in terms of picking every game against the spread. I went 8-8. Sadly, that was the highlight for me as my lock of the week missed for the fourth week in a row somehow. The NFL is hard to bet. And my best bets went 1-4, which puts me at 8 out of 20 on the year, which is not ideal, not terrible, but not great. And my full year performance in the Pick'em contest is perfectly even, 32-32. I will accept that. It is not where we want to be, but it is where we are right now. And, it's still technically ahead of the average in the particular contest I'm in. That is nothing to be proud of. We gotta do better. We have to find a way to do better here. All right, so let's start by reviewing what happened last week. So Dallas went into New York and won 20-15. I had the Giants plus 4.5. They looked like they were going to be scrappy cover. They looked like they could win till the end of the game. They, however, did not. They would lose by 5. My bet would lose by half a point. Great. Moving on. We took Pittsburgh minus 1.5, and they looked like they were getting beat pretty bad for most of the day, and then they came back towards the end, but Indianapolis still managed to win by 3. They were getting points, so that went the wrong way for me. We took Minnesota plus 2.5. They remain undefeated, 31-29. They tried to give it away at the end potentially, but with the points, the cover was never in doubt. Then we had Jacksonville at Houston. Houston kind of was all over the place all day. Jacksonville looked like they could win the game, but Houston pulled it out. The spread was too much, and they lose by 1.5 when you consider the spread. New Orleans at Atlanta. We took Atlanta. They win by 2. Spread is 1.5. Lots of field goals by Koo Young-hwae. And I think that was the story of the day. Atlanta covers. So we took the Rams to beat Chicago. Chicago was giving 2.5 points at home. They would win comfortably by 6 points. Maybe the Chicago team is rounding into form. I just feel at the moment I have to tell you right now, everyone I feel like everyone's out on Caleb Williams. So I bought 3 units of Caleb Williams Rookie of the Year at plus 700. I think that there's a chance that value is really good. Obviously, Jaden Daniels looks like the real deal, and he is the current favorite, but I feel like he hasn't really faced a lot of quality defenses, and he runs like a crazy person, so I wouldn't put him injuring himself, off the table at this point. During the Cincinnati game, his whole coaching staff was cheering because he slid one time. So, yeah, that is what it is. Hopefully he doesn't get injured. I'm not cheering for that, but I will gamble on Caleb Williams putting it together for the rest of the year. Because if I liked it at minus 120 or whatever it was, or plus 120, I certainly like it at plus 700. So let's get to gambling. Then we got Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. I took Philly. It was a mistake. Tampa won this game quite handedly. The score was 16-33, and I think that might be, that score might flatter Philadelphia a bit. They played pretty bad. Tom Brady was just roasting both these teams the whole way through. It was really great to watch. All right, so we took Cincinnati to win their first game of the year over Carolina. You had to lay 4.5 points on a winless team. And that turned out to be correct. Cincinnati would win by 10. Finally, Cincinnati gets their first win of the year. Their defense is really bad, but it turns out you can outgun Carolina if you are a elite offense. Who knew? Moving on. Denver, the Jets. This was my lock of the week. Took the Jets to cover 7.5. I thought between Rodgers and the elite defense, they would make this Denver team look bad. Turns out, game was in the messy rainstorm, and everyone looked horrible. But I'm out here thinking Salah is he's got to be feeling the heat right now. He actively lost this team. He actively lost the Jets the game. His fourth down decision making at the very end there was absolutely perplexing to me. Yeah, that's about it. This Jets team is really funny. The Jets stay in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Moving on. And we had Washington at Arizona. We took Washington with points. I thought they were going to win this game outright. They did. They smoked Arizona 42-14. Washington just, is rarely punting these days. Jaden Daniels is swagging out. He looks like the real deal. There's a lot of buzz around Washington potentially winning the division. I'm going to be cool on that. I think that, one of these more blue blood teams in the division will probably pull it out. But who knows? Washington's really exciting right now. Then we had New England visiting San Francisco. I thought New England wouldn't travel well. They didn't. They lose 13-30. San Francisco smokes them. Not much to say there. Then we had Cleveland at Vegas. I took Vegas saying that this was not a bet on Vegas so much as a bet against Cleveland. And Cleveland had maybe a chance to win this game towards the end. They had a really horrible interception where Amari Cooper was trying to catch the ball and he just throws it up in the air for a Raiders defender to grab it and, get a nice little run in before he gets taken down. And that could be the difference right there. This game was close, and the half-point line reflected that. Got that one right, but there was very little insight there, so we'll take it. But, maybe that was a bad process, good result kind of scenario. We took the Chargers, or Kansas City at the Chargers. We took the Chargers at home, getting 7.5. And the Chargers looked good in the first half of this game, and then slowly the Kansas City Chiefs took over. They lost Rashee Rice in this game, which is tough for them. But they managed to win by exactly 7, so the 7.5 covered. If you got 7, it was a push, or anything under 6.5. You were losing money on the Chargers, sadly, but this line worked for me. We'll take it. Again, I really wanted the Chargers to go for a field goal when they turned it over on downs. That might not have won them the game, but certainly it made me upset as a guy who was, trying to win some gambling. It's tough to watch some of the decision-making coaches do when you've taken points in games. That is what it is. Moving forward, we had Sunday Night Football, Buffalo versus Baltimore. I took Buffalo thinking that they were, utterly dominant on the season, and that Baltimore tend to let up in the late third and fourth quarter of these games so far. Turns out Baltimore doesn't have to do that. They can just lay an ass whooping for 4 straight quarters if they have their mind right, and maybe they will look less ridiculous going forward. But knowing Baltimore, they will have some brain farts here and there, lose to some really embarrassing teams, but finish the year with, let's say, 11, 12 wins. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Hate betting against Baltimore, but I did it, and it bit me in the butt. But I also don't think this game is representative of Buffalo, being a fraud or anything. I think they will also be, winning their division, 10, 11, 12 wins, whatever. Especially now that the Jets don't look particularly competent. I think Buffalo, could put in some impressive numbers going forward. That's about it for Sunday. Monday night, we took Tennessee over Miami, and Tennessee took it to Miami. Miami can't score without Tua, it seems. They have to figure something out, or they are a easy team to fade going forward. And then finally, we took Seattle plus 4.5 over Detroit. And this game was a boat race like I thought it would be. Whenever these teams play each other, I think you got to hammer the over. Seattle, it wasn't close enough that they were in danger of covering at the end, but they were hanging in there for quite some time. But eventually, Detroit did break away quite significantly. As a Seattle fan, I felt like the officiating was suspect, but at the end of the day, every team has to overcome suspect officiating at some point in the season. And yeah, we got beat pretty handedly, so nothing to complain about there. Moving on to the predictions. Week 5, here we go. Game 1, we got Tampa at Atlanta. I'm taking the home team, or Atlanta's giving up 1.5, and I'm taking the home team. Atlanta minus 1.5. Easy. Okay. Then we have the Jets traveling to Minnesota. Minnesota's giving up 2.5. And this game is actually in London, so it's a shorter trip for the Jets. The Jets are getting points. But can I bet on them? No, I will be taking Minnesota. They have not been bad to me this year. I have to believe in the Darnold. It's a Sam Darnold revenge game also, right? Because the Jets punted him. They treated him like hot garbage. I think he's going to come back wanting to deal. And yeah, maybe we'll see what the Jets have, because this is a pretty suspicious start for a team that was the favorite to win the division before the year. I didn't believe it. I thought they'd be competent, but so far they've been pretty bad, I would say. Okay, that's all I can say on that. We got Cleveland at Washington. I will be taking Cleveland plus 3.5. I think we will see what Mr. Daniels is made of facing a actually elite defense. I've been betting against Cleveland and it's been working, but I don't know. I for some reason I've got a feeling here that the NFL will be or that the betting markets will be exacting some cash out of the public. I think everyone's going to be all over Washington, and Cleveland's going to take it. All right. And we got Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's been all over the place. Baltimore's looked elite, but struggled to win. It's really tough to pick against the points in these divisional matchups. But yeah, I think Baltimore has been much more impressive so far. I'm taking Baltimore to go up. I'm taking Baltimore minus 2.5 here. All right. And we got Buffalo at Houston. I'm taking Buffalo. I have not been impressed as much by the Texans as many. They're both 3-1, but I'll be taking the Buffaloes. I think that they will bounce back from last week's curb stomping they received from Baltimore, and they're just slightly higher quality than Houston. But we'll see how it goes. Houston's at home. Anything could happen. Moving on. We've got Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's 0-4. I'm going to be taking the points and Joe Flacco. I think Jacksonville's in a tailspin. They will be extremely desperate to win this game, but I don't know. I was calling for Doug Peterson's head at halftime last week, and I don't think it's going to get better until he's gone. I think the vibes are horrendous. I want this Jacksonville team to succeed. I like Trevor Lawrence. This is just not great. So I'll be taking Joe Flacco. Flack Magic's going to be hard to deal with. And I think Jacksonville is without their leading tackle getter. So things are not going good in Duval County. Moving on. We got Carolina at Chicago. I'm taking Chicago. This is the type of game Chicago has to win at home. Although, of course, Andy Dalton will be quarterbacking, so this Carolina offense is clearly more potent with the red rifle than Bryce Young. But, again, Chicago's at home. They got a vicious front seven. We'll see what happens. Chicago handled their business against LA. I think they'll be able to do it against Carolina as well. We got Miami visiting New England. This is a tough game to call because Miami has not been able to score without Tua. They look totally inept, but so did New England. New England seems to have a lack of talent all over the roster. They're still playing Jacoby Brissett. I think I might just take the half a point, and hold my nose and pick Miami. I don't really want to pick either team, but I have to pick every game, so here goes. We're taking Miami, and we're upset about it. I tend to think that New England gains more by losing than Miami does. I think that New England isn't really trying very hard to win this season, but who knows? All right, moving on. We got Arizona at San Francisco. San Francisco is giving up 7.5. I think San Francisco is going to win by 1 million. I think San Francisco is significantly better than the Washington team that Arizona got smoked by at home last week. I think that San Francisco will be able to just pound the rock. This Arizona team's defense is so bad, and San Francisco is just able to move the ball. As long as they get 1 or 2 stops in the whole game, San Francisco is going to make Arizona look like little babies. That's it. Minus 7.5. Still taking San Fran. Usually I like the points, but I think this Arizona team is just getting smoked everywhere. So here we go. That's that for that. Then we got Las Vegas at Denver. Las Vegas is getting 2.5 points on the road. Oof, this is a tough game to call. I'm going to take the Broncos. They've been biting me in the butt, betting against them a few times this year already. Vegas got me against Baltimore early in the season, but I don't know. I feel like Denver's figuring some stuff out. They're hard to move the ball on. We'll see how it goes. This is going to be an unwatchable match, I think. Denver is really good at creating absolutely unwatchable football games. And so is Vegas, so I don't know that I'll be tuning into that one. Okay. So we got Green Bay and the Rams. The Rams are getting 3.5 at home. I tend to think we got 2 really good head coaches here in LaFleur and McVay. But I think Green Bay is healthier. I'll be taking Green Bay minus 3.5. All right, and final game of the afternoon. We got New York Giants at Seattle. Seattle is giving up 6.5 points. I like Seattle here. If you've been following my channel, you know to fade my Seattle picks. But that being said, I believe that Malik Neighbors is very unlikely to play this week, and he is seemingly the sum total of the offense for the Giants. And last time these two teams met last year, I believe Daniel Jones was sacked 8 times. I believe Mike McDonald will put Jones in the spin cycle, and he'll be seeing ghosts and all the bad things. I think that's that on that. We got Sunday Night Football. We got the 90s grudge match. We got Dallas and Pittsburgh. Dallas is getting 2.5 points on the road. I think Pittsburgh at home will get it done. Yeah, I'm just gonna bet on Pittsburgh defense and the home crowd to confuse the Cowboys. Betting on the Cowboys with points can be fun. I think this will be a close match, but I think Pittsburgh's going to take it down. They're kind of the Python. They just strangle games to death. We're taking Pittsburgh. They have been good to me so far this year. All right. Then we have New Orleans plus 5.5 at Kansas City on Monday Night Football. I'm taking the points because Kansas City, I feel like they're very likely to win the game, but they've had trouble breaking away. That worked last week, and now they're down Rashee Rice. Their offense is going to be running through Kareem Hunt, Xavier Worthy, and Travis Kelce. This is looking pretty grim. I know Travis Kelce maybe got it started last week, but the man is not moving too fast. He's got a lot of veteran moves. He finds the soft spots in the coverage and can make catches, but holy, like, there's not a lot of guys who are going to take the top off, rip a 60-yard reception or whatever. So yeah, with that said, that is it for all my picks of the week. Let's do our best bets, do a lock of the week, and then we can get out of here. All right. So I think I will be taking Minnesota minus 2.5. I'll be taking Baltimore minus 2.5. I'll be taking Green Bay minus 3.5. I'll be taking San Francisco minus 7.5. I'll be taking New Orleans plus 5.5. And my lock of the week, 0-4 so far. This is where we get right. We are taking San Francisco to cover 7.5 over Arizona. To cover. I'm trying to get brave. So that's that. That's everything for this week. Nice short and sweet hot action podcast. Had to get this one out before Thursday Night Football started. Got it done. Here we go. That's it for me. See y'all next week.